Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. You guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat real quick. Yeah, today was a bunch of running around. Just got home from my son's soccer game, or for you guys over outside of the US, I guess football or whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. It is Tuesday. We had some really good volatility today, which was pretty cool to see. And yeah, it was nice. We'll kind of get into it. I'll cover some of the stuff that I'm looking at on the charts. I'm looking at some of the stuff that I'm definitely from a diversified standpoint looking at. One of the things I will talk about real quick, and I just haven't had the time to do it, but for those of you guys running Flux nodes, keep in mind that on the Cadena network, there is going to be a mock airdrop, MOK, a mock airdrop. If your Flux node is selected, and I honestly don't know how they're going to select it. I think it's just going to be random. But if your Flux node, and it's everything from a Cumulus node up, if it is selected, you'll be able to start earning mock rewards, MOK rewards, which is on the Cadena network. So it's free rewards. I'll do a video sometime this week. Sometime this week I'll do it just to show you where to put your Cadena address. And that's really all you have to do is put your Cadena address into it, and you'll get the rewards. Speaking of airdrops on the Flux network, you guys know I'm very bullish on Flux. I'm very diversified into Flux, running nodes, mining it, staking it, holding it. So there is as of yesterday, on the parallel assets, there is a Ergo Flux airdrop. So I think I had a couple hundred Flux actually that I was able to get from it. So it's free Flux, and if you think about it, Flux is trading, I think, like at $1.23. So I think I had 246 Flux. It was an extra $300 that I was able to get just by holding it as a parallel asset chain. So I'll get to a video as well on how to do it. If you jump on my YouTube channel, I did one not too long ago for the AVAX one, for Avalanche. It's going to be the same thing. You just got to add the Ergo into your Zelcore wallet, but definitely do it if you have the Flux in your Zelcore wallet. There's no time limit. I mean, you can honestly wait 6 months from now. So it's just the airdrop. It'll be there. On the parallel asset side, I'm personally only going to be claiming my parallel assets once a year. And it's just so I don't have to burn Flux on the fee schedule. So those are some things that are on the horizon. And actually the biggest thing on the horizon for those of you guys in the crypto world, the Ethereum Merge is happening. I think it's sometime tomorrow night. What is it? It is, where is it now? Come on. There it is. Let's see. Oh, they haven't reset it. Maybe it's still loading, but I want to say it's going to be, for me on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time Zone, I want to say it's going to be, there it is right there. It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like midnight on the 15th. So we're roughly like 27 hours from that. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. I honestly am not going to be watching it live. I could care less. So if I wake up in the morning and Ethereum has gone down to zero, I know that the merge did not go as well and as planned. And, if it's still kicking along, yeah, it's going to be there. Keep in mind with the merge, with, everyone calls it like Ethereum 2.0, the transition from proof of work to proof of stake, it's really not going to do anything. It's not going to lower gas fees. It's not going to allow, the 32 Ethereum stake holders to release their stake. It's not going to do absolutely anything. The only thing it's doing is it's transitioning from a security protocol of proof of work and a decentralized security protocol at that into a centralized proof of stake security. If you don't know what that means, Ethereum essentially is going to be a centralized cryptocurrency network. It's going to be centralized no matter what you say. It's he who has the biggest stake controls it, right? So there's no way to decentralize it. But that's kind of on the that's on the horizon. That's stuff that I'm watching. And of course, if you did watch today, we had some really good inflation numbers come out. Unfortunately, for those of you guys that live in the United States, it was not what you wanted to see, but it is what it is, right? They actually were only anticipating a 0.3% increase. It was actually double that, 0.6, which is very, very bad. And they were hoping that the month-to-month CPI data, which is the standard in which they're looking for inflation, actually was a reduction. And it very much was not. It was actually a 0.1% increase. So overall, inflation is continuing, meaning if you think about it from an economic standpoint, the U.S. dollar just appreciated, right? So give a very, very short shout out to anybody who was trying to short the dollar. I do believe it did not work in your favor. So kind of with the fundamentals at play here, I'll kind of break down what I'm looking at. There's really not much change. The anticipation from the get-go over the last 3 months for me has been that the dollar is just going to continue to strengthen. If you look at every other major currency, they're all bearish, right? The dollar has been just driving the market the last, I would say, probably the better part of it, 18 months. It's just been the US dollar driving this market. Everything that you're seeing coming out against the dollar is just short term. So, with that, honestly, nothing has changed. I am very much still, when looking at the weekly, fundamentals that are going to be coming out, we're going to have inflation numbers for the pound. We're going to have some PPI data coming out tomorrow morning, which I'm anticipating is going to continue to rise. Now, whether or not, I know for a fact, I'm not, they're already forecasting a negative 10% drop. I don't see that happening. So I am anticipating that tomorrow we're going to get a bigger bullish dollar. We have GDP for the Kiwi quarter over quarter, and you can see they're actually calling for a 1% increase, which I don't live in New Zealand. I can't tell you, but I think across the board, the economic exports and imports of individual countries, I don't think are really going to be hitting the mark. But, with that going in and with the Australian jobs reports, I'm really focused on just the US dollar and everything going with it. So I'm going to be looking for continuation shorts on everything against the dollar, right? I'm going to be looking for UCAD, UCHEF, which isn't on the top of my list, but it's there. I mean, we looked at it this morning. UCHEF are definitely going to be buys that I'm looking at. And, UJ is like off over here. I don't know if you guys have looked at the yen crosses, but again, anybody trying to short the yen crosses the last couple of weeks, my condolences to your account and to the hard work that you put into it for absolutely nothing. But UJ, I think, did 1,500 pips in the last 2 weeks, so unfortunately I wasn't a part of one of those pips. It's just never gave me any pullbacks. But going into this week, I mean, I'm really just going to continue to stay with the dollar on it, and we'll see what happens. With that, is there any questions? Like, I guess on the economic side of it, it should be pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy. But really with the depreciation that we're seeing, the dollar is just going to continue to strengthen against everything. The dollar is truly the movement of the market right now. So, and this is what I'm kind of looking at here, right? I'm looking at, yeah, man, what's up? Yeah, we've been, it's like clockwork. I've been really just waiting for dollar to really get down. I was really hoping that we were going to get something out of here. And yeah, I mean, that's what she did. If you guys haven't looked at it, what is very specific about these two lows right here? Does anybody know why these two lows right here are very important to me right now? Anybody take a guess? Divergence. Divergence on the oscillator here, relative strength divergence. Yeah, that's one of them. What else? What's even more important than relative strength divergence? Now we're going to knock these things out because I could care less. No, I care, but I could care less about liquidity. I don't think there's any liquidity there, right? I mean, why would they sweep liquidity? For me, this is just mitigation of this. No, the 1 hour lows. What do you mean the 1 hour lows? Isn't this a 1 hour low? Or this, or this, or that? 80%. Well, it came into the 80%, but what else? What else? Ah, there you go, Brian. Brian's got it. EU divergence. What is more powerful and important when it comes to momentum and determining a leader and a laggard? What's more important than a relative strength divergence is a comparable strength divergence. So what is the benchmark that we use the dollar for? It's the euro, right? And, you know, pay attention to these lows right here, right? What did euro do? If you guys looked at it today, what did euro do? Euro had divergence, right? Euro right here is the leader, right? Euro did not make it. If I do this like to show what it would look like on dollar, that's what we got, right? We got divergence. So euro is actually showing us that it's the leader. Now, whether or not that means that there's more orders on euro USD than the dollar. Now, I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying from a leader and lagger standpoint, we are definitely getting total commitment from buyers or sellers on whichever chart you're looking at. But this right here was very important. You know, the fact that we have that divergence, it's really telling us that we are seeing that momentum shift. And, you know, I'm not a betting man, but I'm pretty sure with the next couple of days, we will be above this high right here. All right. So, yeah, I mean, coming back over to dollar index, super clean, right? Super clean price action. It came into the area that I wanted. You know, I was really looking for a buy in this area here. It really didn't present anything, at least prior to news, nothing that I would have taken, right? Nothing I would have wanted to take. But especially after the break, yeah, I mean, this is game on for me. You know, and what we were really looking at was the weekend holdover gap. You know, were they going to just come into that, fill it, and then collapse? And, you know, if there's ever a sign of strength, you know, this is your sign of strength. That's what you want to see. We just plowed right through that sucker. So, yeah, dollar index, nothing about, you know, like if we would come up over here to a more reasonable chart, nothing about dollar index is telling me, yeah, sellers are coming into this market. You know, every time we pull back, it's just a form of profit taking, you know. So looking at this chart, just continuation with the bullishness. And, you know, again, if the dollar is controlling this market, at least for the last 18 months, you know, I'm just going to stick with the majors. There's no reason for me to skirt away from them. All right, so let me see. Total. Yeah. Did I end up leaving the limit on out of the SC on Euro USD? No. I don't take limits out of at least yeah, I don't put limits on SCs. So once it invalidated, yeah, I was done with it. There was a micro accumulation before CPI on the dollar index. There was. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I mean, how micro are we going? We're going like a 1 second. Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about this right here. That's kind of weak. This is kind of weak right here. I wouldn't for me, I wouldn't consider that an accumulation. I mean, this right here is not a really good definitive change of character. All right, yeah, you get a good little push there, but this is weak. I'm just not seeing evidence of big buy orders coming in. So the dollar is not always the leader. No, that's that's why we have leaders and laggards, and they change from they change actually on different time frames. So the dollar could be leading on the lower time frames, and EU could be leading on the way bigger time frames. So if the dollar was the leader all the time, then there would be no confusion as to what's happening on the chart, and that's not the case, right? Confusion is really what drives this market. Yeah, no, there wasn't anything in there. I mean, I looked at EU. GU had a really nice distro, but EU did not. Right. Coming over to EU, like my thought process is just come back for mitigation now or play continuation move. So this is kind of my thought, like what I want to do. I don't know why this arrow is here. There we go. I just want us to come back into this area right now. That's really going to get me into this market, or just a redistribution, right? Like, so if price, maybe price does something like this and then breaks, okay, then I'll play continuation moves out of here. Like this is the manipulation part. But if we don't get a redistribution, I want us to come back into this area. My stop, not my stop, my alert will be at the 50% of the entire move. So anything in this area here gets me into this trade. Do I think we're going to go up there? Probably not. I mean, I think, especially with Wednesday's news, I think we're just going to be continuation moves down to the downside. Right. So that's what I'm looking at. And yeah, I mean, this is the SC play right here. It was off the 3-minute candle. This break that causes the low get taken here. That was the SC. I mean, it did come right into the 50%, but I don't put limit orders on the SC anymore. So, and for me, it just didn't give me an entry to take. So that's EU. That's my game plan with EU. And I'm just going to continue to short this, ideally my first priority is to make a new low here, right? Get up into this and then sell it off. So, and then go from there. Cause we're at very discounted pricing. So where is the 50 and the 80 from? Which one? I mean, from everywhere. I measured the Frankfurt to London crossover push. I measured the entire leg. I measured the entire order flow push as well. So I've got a bunch of 50 and 80s in there. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking with EU. And I bet you can't guess, but that's going to be pretty similar with all of them, right? GU, again, same thing. GU did a really, really clean distribution out of here. And, we're very much bearish on GU still. I'm still holding shorts from a month ago out of the redistros. So I'm going to continue to hold what I have. You just go back in here and look at the price action that she gave. I mean, it was just very, very super, super clean. Let's see. Yeah, it was just super clean in here. You could see exactly what happened. So not only was it a larger schematic, right? Here's your distro, 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, 4, right? It was also the 4th drive. So this is the 4th drive of this distro. It's the 4th drive of this distro, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then inside of the 4th drive of the 4th drive, you've got a really clean micro in there. And this is what pretty much took the cake. I mean, she came perfectly. Super clean distro, 1 drive, 2 drive, 3, UTAD, measure out the UTAD, and she came right to 50% of it. So, and then of course redistributed, right? So this is really my area that I want to see us come back into. Could we come back into the 80? Yeah, absolutely. All right. But the 80's not worth it for me until that 80 controls the leg. So we either need to go lower for that 80 to be valid for me. I had a limit on the 50% of the micro, but took off because of CPI. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I would have been stopped out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what depends on your broker, I guess, but I would have been stopped out because if I had, what was this? This was a 6.5 pip stop loss. Um, I mean, if spreads, and I specifically look at GU, I looked at ACAD. ACAD went from like 2 pips to like 12, but at the news release on a sell, the spread would have taken me out. So it's I don't mess around with the spreads during news releases. Um, it was your broker during the news was only 6 pipettes. Oh well, bro, that's an awesome broker that he didn't manipulate it during news event. That's awesome. Yeah, typically I'm getting between 3 and 6 pipettes normally, and on a huge news release like that, yeah, that'll I've seen GU get up to almost 4 or 5 pip spreads, so it's ridiculous. Would you need GU to break the very low before taking an entry at the redistro? It didn't look like it went into any meaningful supply. Why does it have to go to meaningful supply? Yeah, what would be the reason that it comes into meaningful supply? No, I mean, I'll tell you, for me, the answer is no. I don't need to take a new low. I'm perfectly fine. We broke an order flow. We confirmed the distro, we confirmed this distro, we confirmed this distro, and we broke order flow here. So we're in a bearish market. I'm perfectly contented coming back up here and taking a distro out of it. Yeah. And for me, this doesn't have to come into supply because I'm anticipating a redistribution. Redistributions are continuation moves, not mitigation moves. Right. So I mean that's at least how I see a redistro. It's a continuation move. So I just need to see evidence of sellers in this market. Do we get that? Yeah. Um, Points POIs on US dollar pairs look pretty the same, I guess. Yeah. So what's that tell you? If AU, NU, GU, and EU all look pretty similar, what's that tell you? It tells you the dollar is controlling everything. It tells you that nothing outside of the dollar really matters, right? So if you could figure out what the dollar is doing, then you have a pretty good chance at and a high probability of success playing what the dollar is giving you. Not that awesome since I'm sure your broker, it's much more secure to let your money in. Yeah, I mean, that's why my spreads are stupid, because Awanda is just horrible with spreads. It is what it is, but they're a regulated broker in the United States that's insured. So I don't ever have to worry about waking up and logging into my account and it telling me that the website is no longer found. And then I have to call some, I don't know, some Caribbean island and ask them to ride their bicycle down to this PO box and see if my broker is still there. So yeah, it is what it is. It's the price you pay for security. You know what I mean? I just thought for it to hold that leg, the area I thought for it to hold that leg, the area it comes into has to be important. Yeah, but this isn't holding anything right now. This isn't holding anything, right? I mean, where's the leg? The leg is still up here, right? This is the leg. That's our leg. But just like this didn't come into any supply. And what do? We collapsed. And like this one here, this didn't come into any supply and we collapsed. So you just play, for me, I'm just playing the redistros, right? Until we actually come up into an area that maintains the leg, I'm just going to play redistros. Yeah, so that's pretty much GU, and GU was pretty clean. I really like the evidence of sellers coming into the market pre-news release. It really told the story that this thing was just going to collapse on itself. And I mean, from a range perspective, I mean, just look at this thing. This thing sold off 250 pips, right? 250 pips in a session is what she did, which was pretty nice. We haven't seen volatility like that in a minute. So, yeah. So GU. I mean, I bet you're not going to guess AU. AU did the same thing, right? AU, we've got a super clean distribution. 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive UTAD. We broke order flow. There's my boof. right? We're already in a bearish market. So I'm pretty comfortable, you know, obviously if we do this, I could set a limit order out of here because this now maintains order flow, right? This is the order flow that's maintaining the leg. If we don't break that low, you know, one, I don't really care that we don't break the low, but if we don't break that low, I'm just gonna wait for a distro. So let me ask you, why am I not too worried about AU breaking this low? Anyone have an idea? Thoughts on Euro GBP? My thoughts on Euro GBP is the euro is very weak and the pound is very weak. So, you know, it's like going to see a UFC fight and watching the super lightweights in the first round play and then leaving before the main event. That's what I would attribute trading EG right now to. NU has, yeah, absolutely. Divergence, NU has. NU's already taken this low. So who's the leader and who's the laggard, right? Look at NU. Look at NU. So NU, I could set the limit, right? Who's the leader and who's the laggard? Yep. NU's the leader, AU's the laggard. Absolutely. So I really don't need AU to take the low. NU's already showed me the weakness. So we come back up into this super clean distribution, game on, right? I'm taking it. I'm there. I'm ready for it. Market cycle is already bearish, so it doesn't have to break the low for, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I could just play the order flow. For me, as soon as we did this, right? As soon as we broke this and gave the boof, I was already prepared for it to come back up here and me short it, you know? But now this is just icing on the cake because now this maintains our order flow leg of the smallest form, you know? Yeah. Would love if you could take a look at BTC. Sure. Yeah, it's bearish. Get ready for a big sell-off. Get ready for it to continue going lower. You prefer to trade the leader or the laggard? Yeah, it depends on the time frame. It's the leader or the laggard. You know, to me, it really doesn't matter if it's the higher time frame leader or laggard. But you know, on a 5-minute chart where we're getting a distribution, yeah, I'll take the laggard all day long because the laggard's giving me the manipulation. So yeah, NU, it's pretty simple. We're either going to come up here or we're going to redistribute and I'll play continuation move. You know, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm going to do. The, you know, there's, I mean, we're bearish. I mean, there's not much I could tell. I mean, we're just bearish. You know, if you look at currency indexes, right, and you ask yourself, I did this morning. Anybody have an idea what the Australian index is? Is it bullish or bearish? Who knows what the Australian index is? Bullish or bearish? What's AU? Is AU bullish or bearish? It's bearish, right? AU is bearish, so that means the Australian futures or the Australian index is bearish. What about the pound futures or pound index? Bearish? Yeah, it's bearish, right? What about the Canadian futures, right? What's UCAD? UCAD's bullish as crap. So Canadian futures or Canadian index is bearish. What about the euro? Well, if the dollar is bullish, we know the euro has to be bearish. Has to be. They're diametrically opposed. What about the yen? Right? What's the yen doing? Anyone take a guess what the yen is? Is it bullish or bearish? Yeah, it's bearish as crap. How do we know? Well, if you haven't looked at the yen futures or the yen index, just look at UJ. It's the opposite chart. UJ is bullish to the 59th power. So yeah. What about the Kiwi? Well, I mean, we're looking at it. We're bearish, right? The Kiwi's bearish. The Swiss franc is bearish. What's the only thing that's bullish? This sucker right here. That's the only thing that's bullish. So if I know that this is bullish and this is driving the markets, I know that I am selling AU, selling GU, selling well, in this case, I'd be buying UCAD because you can't sell CAD-U. I know EU I'm selling. I know UJ I'm buying. I know I'm selling NU, and I know I'm buying US dollar Swiss franc, right? I know what I'm doing with these all because this bad boy right here is already telling me exactly what's happening. Yep. Yeah. I mean, obviously we're in a unique situation where the dollar is controlling everything. You look back 3 years ago, the dollar really wasn't controlling everything. It had some influence, but we were definitely more stable when it came to individual indexes. But don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I mean, if the dollar is going to give you the cheat code, use it. Use it. You were looking to buy UCHEF to come down. Wait, you were looking at UCHEF to come down around 94,400 for a buy, but it took off way too early to the upside. Now we'll look at it. I mean, I was looking for it to come lower, but I was also looking. I mean, I think it came within 10 pips of my alert. So it was in the area where I wanted it to come into. So yeah. So okay. So we broke down NU, right? So let's look at UCHEF, right? What did I want UCHEF to do? So UCHEF, yeah, I mean, I had a couple of scenarios that I wanted, right? Obviously, I wanted us to come here is what I really wanted, right? This is what created this push right here. And all of this is just noise. That's all that is, right? This price action in here, did absolutely nothing, right? It's just a complex pullback, right? We came here, did this break bullish structure? No, we're still bullish from here. And then what do? We came in here and gave that perception of, oh, look, we came into makeshift supply, imaginary supply, whatever you want to call it. And then look, we made a low. Okay. We're still bullish, right? We're still bullish from here. And then, oh, look, we came into here and oh, we made another low. Yep. But we're still bullish from here. It's just a complex pullback. And then eventually, what did I want to see? Well, we broke the slingshot that causes it, right? We broke that smallest form of order flow. So once we did that, was I a little disappointed that we couldn't take this high? Yeah, I was. So what's that mean? I just got to be a little more selective. So where did we actually come? Well, if you measure out this move, which gave what? This move essentially gave the order flow break right here. What do? We came right into 50%. So yeah, I mean, if you were looking for price to come a little lower, I mean, how much lower? What'd you say? 94,400? Where is it? 94,400. I mean, yeah, I mean, sure. What did 94,400 is like right about here. I mean, I would say it came to the area. Did you want to come exactly to 94,400? If you did, I mean, you got to ask yourself why. For me, I was pretty comfortable. As soon as we came into the 50, I wanted to see something. And she gave an ugly type 4. I mean, she did. It's down there. Where's she at? There it is right there. She gave an ugly type 4. But there's just no entry after. As soon as the news popped, and then she gave an accumulation there, like a type, maybe like an ugly type 5, but there's no way to get an entry off of that. I mean, that's just garbage. So, I mean, you do have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive, and then ultimately your spring. So you've got your type 4 and you've got your spring, right? You've got your sign of strength. You've got everything in here, breaking order flow, right? Broke order flow here. So we come back down into this neighborhood of this. This is where I'm waiting. Or if we distribute and then reaccumulate, all right, I'll play continuation move to take this up. Yeah. How's looking at type 5? It's a head and shoulders. Just yeah. If you ever want to know what all the schematics are, just look up retail trading patterns. That's every schematic there is. You can name them yourself if you want. You don't have to say, oh, it's a type 5, it's a type 4. I mean, all you got to do is just come over here and pull up all the retail trading patterns. That's all the schematics. I mean, where are they? Yeah, here you go. Where's a bigger one? Where's the sheet? Come on. I guess we can just do it like this. Yeah, here's all your schematics. These are all the schematics. So yeah, that's all you got to do. Just pull these bad boys up, and that's every schematic there is. There's ones that I trade. There's ones I could give a crap about because they're just pointless to trade. I'd rather wait for manipulation. So all right, bear with me 1 second. Let's see. I was looking at the big upside leg back in early August. Wait a minute. You were looking at the big upside leg in early August. Yeah, but you don't have a leg. You're talking about it out of here? Should have looked at recent break and slingshot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we because we didn't break this is not a leg. It's order flow. That's all it is. Okay. You thought a number 3 was the head and shoulder? Well, for you, it could be a number 3. Yeah. I mean, you can label them however you want. There's no like official handbook, right? There's not a Wyckoff handbook with even before that. All right, so then I'm confused, man. Before that, I have no clue what you're talking about then, because before that, this is what I would be looking for price to come into, but that's not August, that's April. So yeah, I have no clue then. Yeah, I mean, you can label it whatever you want. You want to come up with cool names for them, you can do that, write a book on it. But yeah, there's no like official manual. I mean, I know there's 8 different types of them, accumulations and distros, and I know there's 4 different types of reaccumulations and redistros. Right? How do I know that? Because that's the retail trading patterns. Yeah. So this is what I'm waiting on right here. Let her come on back down, or like I said, we reaccumulate. Yeah. Okay, April. Yeah. That's where I was waiting as well. If we came down there, but if price is going to take off, it's going to take off. It's not going to wait for me. Now on UCAT, UCAT, same thing. I mean, we were waiting on buys. She came in, and this is actually the one that just missed where I was looking. We are still very much, and my anticipation is reaccumulation, right? Here's your distro, creek, accumulation, reaccumulation, coming back right into mitigate. And I'm pretty sure we're going to reaccumulate. So, where I was really looking for us to come into was right here. I did have a really good point of interest out of this that I wanted. We fell short just of it. So no big deal. I mean, you can see what's going on right there. We've got an accumulation. So prices accumulated, and I'm for I guess for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to be waiting now for price to come back and mitigate, right? Same thing like you, Chef. We had a schematic, right? You've got a schematic right here. You've got your spring that starts from Asian high. And if we come back down into that right in here, I'm going to be buying, or, maybe we get another reaccumulation. I'll play order flow out of it to take it up. Right. That's essentially what I'm going to be doing. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. Okay. On the 7th, UCAD was at a bullish POI on the 7th. On the 7th of September. Okay. On the 7th, it was in a bullish POI. How come? Why are we in a bullish POI on the 7th? So we are here. This is your bullish POI. How come? This looks very much like a distribution. This looks very much like a distribution, especially since We have yet to take this high here. So I'd be very leery about trying to buy it out of here. All right, so hold on, I'll continue. But at the same time, the dollar went bearish in order flow. Would you still take the trade on UCAD or just do nothing since the dollar is the leader in the bearish? So if dollar is going bearish and you're trying to buy UCAD, that means that you have no help from the dollar and you are betting everything that the Canadian dollar is going to continue to be weak. So without any dollar strength, you got to ask yourself, what's the Canadian dollar doing? And is it in a, I can tell you that here, I'm not looking to buy anything, not until we take this high, because it's not worth it. Right now, it's a different story. If maybe we broke that high and now this order flow is maintaining, right? And we've broken this high. So, there's a different scenario at play. Would I be looking for that? Yeah, that's something I'd be looking. You were assuming it would break that high? Well, one thing I've learned is deal in facts, right? Deal in facts. What is there? What do we see? What do we do? Not, what we want to happen. Because, I mean, you can will it all you want. You can stare on that chart, beady eyes, and I guarantee you it's not gonna do what you want it to do. Yeah. It broke that high, making it a reaccumulation. It broke that high, making it an accumulation. Okay. Yeah. For me, this is still a valid distribution. This isn't, I don't have an accumulation because of this high right here. Because of that high, you're saying that this whole thing is a reaccumulation. All right. I mean, if it is for you, for me, it's not. We're an active distribution. Yeah. We're an active distribution. There's no, yeah, there's no reason for me to say that that's a reaccumulation. Is that because of where it is and also the price action? Yeah, it's also the price action. I mean, you're in supply to the left, right? You're in supply to the left, and yeah, I mean, I don't see this as a reaccumulation. I see it as active distribution starting from here. Yeah. Okay. When the market comes into your order flow demand or supply zone, do you always look for a schematic on the seconds time frame? No. I mean, I normally sit on the 5-minute or 15-minute typically. Yeah. I mean, I could see a 5-second schematic on a 5-minute without any issues. I'll tell you right now, you sit on a seconds time frame, you're going to get tunnel vision. You'll get sucked in and forget where the heck you're at. I was also basing it off the dollar breaking its high, but that's a lot of assuming. Yeah, I mean, my suggestion: deal in fact, right? Deal in fact. It'd be so much easier for you. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. So UCAD, I mean, UCAD, just like everything else, I mean, it's pretty simple where it's at. The other two that I'm really following are ACAD and NCAD. And these are really clean still. Come on. Oh, trading view. There we go. So, I mean, ACAD's bearish as crap, right? ACAD is just continuing to give us just super clean plays here. And what have we done? We've, we can definitely see if anyone is unsure of where supply is sitting, it's right here. This redistro that causes the break, this is supply. And when we come in and we create this just super clean distribution, and I know I marked it out this morning, but whatever. We came into a really clean distro, right? That's your UTAD. Okay. What did it do? Perfect break of the schematic, right? We broke order flow. Not only that, but we broke here, which is what I wanted to see, because this is what ultimately created this order flow play. So what am I anticipating? I'm anticipating that this is just one continuation move. It's just another redistribution to take this lower. So just like everything else, we come back up into the distribution. I'm looking for shorts out of a schematic. We redistribute, right? This now becomes the SC. I'll be looking for a distro here, or I'd be putting a limit order up here, right? Definitely go up and take a look at it. If you don't have it marked out, I would definitely suggest marking it out just in case you need it, right? I mean, just super clean price action. Really nice distribution here, right? There's your distro. That's your UTAD, right? You had a redistro and then another redistro, and that's what news came in, right? So this is really, my main point of interest that I want to see us come into. But I can't negate the fact that this distribution could still potentially be available, right? It doesn't hold structure yet, but it could potentially. So I went through and just marked it out. Really clean price action right at prior to US Open, right? So ACAD and again, we had major divergence, right? So you have divergence here. And I know I marked it out because that's why I had the divergence. We had divergence here, right? Like this. What do you think NCAD did? NCAD did this, right? So that means NCAD's the leader. And if we look over at NCAD, there she is, right? She failed to make the high. See, NCAD's got a stupid thing. Anyway, NCAD in that same distro, NCAD made the low. So, and we've already taken that low. So now I'm looking for price to come back into the redistribution so we can short it, as well as come back into ACAD here so I can short it, right? That's essentially what I'm going to be doing. And these two are just, they've been really clean for the last, I don't know, I feel like maybe last 2 years. I think I'm still holding, I know I still am. I'm holding a short, my oldest NCAD short, I want to say is November. I want to say it's November. So I'm coming up on a year. I just hit my year mark on Euro USD, holding my short, and I'm still holding obviously Chef JPY, but I'm holding shorts out of right here. I'm still holding my shorts out of here from November. So, I mean, this thing just keeps on dropping, so that's my plan with NCAD and ACAD. Just continue to short it, play the order flow play on it. And then of course, I was looking at yen crosses, but they're not giving us anything, man. They are not giving us anything at all. So, I was going to take a shot in the dark with Chef JPY if we come back into this order flow reaccumulation, but it's just not happening. I don't see it happening. The two orders that I'm holding though, I mean, I think they're at like 3,200 pips in profit now. Where's she at? There she is right there. So they are 3,300 pips in profit from September. So 3,300 pips, and that crazy order is at a 1 to 2,360 R to R. So eventually, when it's all said and done, that is going to get printed out and put in like a little poster. Maybe I'll make it like a big portrait poster. All right, I'm using one random schematic to understand better from what you think about drives in a schematic. The movement that I've marked up, do you consider as a drive? No, I don't. Nope. No, I mean, if I'm going to look at this, no, this is completely separate. So this is actually a redistribution. This is your accumulation. That is your reaccumulation. That's your distribution. That's your redistro. So this is not an accumulation to me. Could it be an accumulation? It could, right? This could be my climax to my rally, to my secondary test. It definitely gives an evidence of a buy order, but not on this time frame. This is not these aren't drives for me. So Julio. Oh man. Dude, I looked at indices for all of like 30 seconds when it was just collapsing today, and I was laughing. I was like, I'm just thinking to myself, how many people in the back of their in the back of their heads were saying, Mike told me not to trade during lunchtime. Don't trade during this lunchtime. Get away from power hour. Bro, that thing just collapsed, man. Collapsed. All right. So yeah, so Chef JPY, it is what it is. I mean, this damn thing is just not giving us pullbacks, man. I mean, just look at, and this is the, what keeps me up at night sometimes. It's knowing that from the 1st of August, Chef JPY gave a whopping 1,350 pips, and I didn't catch any of this, trying to figure out what I missed out of it. And honestly, sometimes you just don't miss anything. You really gave me some breakthroughs about responsibility to my risk management, risk assessment. Also proud. Good, man. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I'll tell you this, and this is something I've been continually trying to just put out there. It's treat trading like a business, you know, don't treat it like you're going to Las Vegas, right? And those of you guys who've never been to Vegas, I guess you won't know what I'm talking about, but don't gamble it. Treat it like a business, make informed, high probability decisions. I guarantee you wouldn't treat, if you're a business owner, what, it doesn't matter what the business is, a car dealership, you own a grocery store, you own whatever it is, you wouldn't make some of the decisions you make in trading that you would with some of these businesses. So treat it like a business. I think what most people struggle as is to get the response to yes, to it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, on all these yen crosses, I mean, I'm bullish on them. It's just, they just need some flipping pullbacks, I'm definitely looking for continuation plays on them. They're just not giving anything. I was even looking, I don't know, did actually KJ come in there? I don't think it did. Hold on. I don't think, oh yeah, that's right. She just missed it. Yeah, I mean, even in here, I mean, like this is high risk. This is a high risk trade for me, even though it's a reaccumulation. Could I potentially play something out of here? I could, but I guess timing is going to be really all of that. What I want to see. Maybe if we get into Asian and then Frankfurt sweeps it and then London breaks it, maybe that's the entry to take up. But if I don't see that happen during those sessions, I won't even bother with it. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be targeting with currencies. Indices. Listen, indices are, they came into the area I wanted them to come into. We sold off beautifully. Where's she at? Come on. Oh, this stupid thing. There we go. So, what did indices do? This is the break of order flow. This is the reaccumulation that caused it. We came into 50% 2 days ago. We accumulated, we broke order flow here out of this accumulation. And then what did indices do? Sure. Yeah. We had some derogatory misses on inflation numbers, but really what did we do? And this was this morning. What I was looking at was I was looking to see if we would come into this move right here, because this was 50% of the whole play. And we saw an accumulation. If anyone did take that, you at least were protected. It gave like a 1-13 at one point, but what do? We just smacked right down. I guarantee you, I haven't looked at this yet, but I guarantee you, if I measure out the manipulation at Asian, I guarantee you that taps 80%. I guarantee it. Let's see. I wouldn't miss it by just a hair. Just a hair. Yeah. I want to say SPX came in. You took NAS and SPX, what, out of the buy out of here? You took the buy out of here? Yeah. Yeah. It happened in the white, man. If it's outside of the blue, I don't trade it. You poor Dow. I don't think poor Dow. We're still very much bullish, I mean, all we did was just come right back into here. I honestly think if we accumulate in here tomorrow, I'm buying it. You know, I'll definitely be looking for buys on it. Now, if we don't accumulate and we actually take the low, then this big old reaccumulation turns into a redistro, right? So it's really what's really going to be dependent upon is what we do here. But you look over at SPX and same thing. I mean, what did SPX do? SPX came, where are we in this? Into the whole move. We still had a little ways to go on the 80. We could have come in just a little bit lower, you know. And what about NAS? Where's NASDAQ in relation to it? I think we could, oh, look at NAS. NAS smacked the 80% of it. So, I mean, really, what have we done? We've confirmed the accumulation. We exited our trading range and so showed a sign of strength. And we came right back into the 80%, you know. So yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, that's what happens, right? I mean, you've never heard the saying, the bulls take the stairs, right? The bulls take the stairs, the bears jump out the window, right? I mean, just look at any sell-off, right? Just look at any major sell-off. Bulls, bears, right? Look at any major sell-off. The sells always happen faster, right? Look at that sell, right? Look at that sell. You know, that's for me why I purposely always like to short indices, because you can get an 800 pip move in an hour where you're buying that thing 800 points might run you like 3 days, you know. So any opportunity to short it, I'll always try to take it. Did it come down too rapidly? Did it come down too rapidly? Have you ever heard of terminal velocity? You can't come down rapidly. It's always just going to max out. So did it come down too rapidly? No. You know, I'm perfectly fine with the way it came down personally. I mean, I could care less. I tried to take the distro at 8:30. You try to take the distro at 8:30. How come? What got you to, I guess, get to a lower time frame chart and say I'm selling it? I heard you say that if it doesn't come down systematically, you don't like taking trade setups. Yeah, but this was, what was the reason this came down like this? Was it a technical reason? No, it was fundamentals, right? So we know that fundamentals are what? The market's manipulation. So was this a manipulation? Yes, I'm perfectly fine with it, right? I'm perfectly fine with the manipulation. If this wasn't news related, if this had no news related and this happened like this, yeah, I'd be saying sellers are definitely in control of this market. But because it's news related, I'm 100% fine with news rocking this sucker out. Yeah. Yeah, but so like at 8:30 in the morning, wait, at 8:30. Yeah. So prices here, what's telling you to sell this sucker? You saw the distro and waited? Yeah, but what? All right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this, and you know how I always tell you, you know, like the distro's there, but you know, news is coming out. So, I mean, I wouldn't try to sell it. I would just wait for news to give it a manipulation. You know, I mean, what did we talk about in the morning? We talked about, well, actually, what did we talk about yesterday, right? Well, not yesterday. What did we talk about Thursday or Friday? Whenever I think it was Friday, I guess I talked to you. I mean, what did I say? Remember, I wanted price to come here, right? I wanted price to come here. So we were anticipating that news to get us down here today. So she didn't disappoint. She got us there. What time at your place right now? I'm in the Eastern time zone, man, right here. All right. That, just look at the bottom of my trading view. Everybody has this. It's free of charge. TradingView provides this to everybody, no matter what type of plan you have. It's right there. So I'm Eastern Standard Time. Just joined. Do we already go over SPX? No. What about SPX accumulation? What you got, bro? What you got? SPX accumulation. Which one? Talking about this one here? The one you sent me the chart on earlier? Just different ways of marking it out. Yeah, I mean, I think you were right with it. I mean, this is how I was looking at it. This is how I was looking at it right here. Just like this. Yeah, just like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, you said this was your PS, right? And I agree with it. You know, the only reason, you know, like, I mean, actually, I guess you can even say that's your change of character, right? Because this would have come to 50. I mean, here's how we can look at it, right? I mean, if you really want to be crazy with it, let's look at it. So that is the 50%. So these pushes wouldn't be. So at this point, I would say that is my trading range. So I would go climax, rally, secondary test, secondary test, secondary test, spring, right? And I would need us to break this high right there. So if we would have broken that high, I would have looked to play out of here, but we don't break the high. And what do? We push lower. So now this could be the spring, and then we would need this high to get broken, right? But we don't get that. We get another low. So because we got another low, now just shift the trading range, right? So now this is my climax to my rally, to my test, technically to a UA, right? Because that does trade a slightly higher, to another secondary test, 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 and then finally to our spring. So this is the spring, which makes this the secondary test in phase B. And then because this is the low and this is the previous low, that be our break right there. So, and of course, this is what I measured. And wouldn't you know it? She can't imagine that. Who would have taken that bet that she comes into the damn 80? The last drive on a Wanda didn't sweep it. Okay. I mean, I know on the brokers it swept it because I took this trade on just like a small little. Actually, I took it on that Blue Forex Funds one, and I threw like, I think I threw like $100 on it just because it was after. Like I wasn't really going to trade it. I just wanted to see if this thing was actually going to work or not. But I measured it out on the broker. That's all I did. I just measured this move here on the 1 minute, measured this, and this broke below here. Did it do it on any other ones? Or just Owanda's the only one that it didn't break on? Yep. I mean, we can look. What's the, just go to futures, right? Did it ES? If it did it on futures, then it's gospel, right? She happened. Where is she? Here she is right here. Yeah, she broke. Futures broke. So once again, Awanda did you dirty, man. Awanda did you dirty. Yeah, she broke on futures. Bam, right there. So yeah, I mean that's how I would have marked it. Tons of secondary tests, and the key is just look at the price action, right? How many times have we seen it? You know, look at the reactions. Look at the buy orders coming in, right? Just look at the buy orders coming in. Just really good reactions. So, yeah. No, I was, like I said, I only threw $100 at it on that one account. I wasn't even gonna touch it with my future start. So, am I okay with playing accumulations out of Asian lows? Only if the Asian low maintains something. Yeah, only if the Asian lows maintain something. Nice. Nasdaq had the same accumulation. I think it did too, right? Let's see. Yeah, like I said, she gave, if you took it off that 80, she gave like a 1 to 13 on SPX. NASDAQ? You're saying NASDAQ's was as clean as SPX? I don't know if it was as clean. US 30 was? Yeah. I mean, I saw US 30. Yeah, I don't know if I would even have I wouldn't have, I don't think I would have taken this. Because where's your manipulation? So if you're looking at it like this, hold on, let's see. So if you're looking at climax to rally to test, okay, to test, okay, to spring, is that what you're talking about? This right here at the double bottom. Is that what you're talking about though? Like here? Or are you talking about this? This is what you're talking about? That? Did I manage to take an entry on EJ? No. No, I'm not holding any EJ trades. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you would have taken it. Yeah, but what? Okay. Yeah, yeah. So once we broke here, yeah, coming back into, yeah, but this is not, this is nowhere as clean as SPX. SPX was on the money. Yeah, SPX was on the money. And like I said, I mean, just to, I'll tell you right now, like, let's say that this doesn't happen at 12:30, right? Let's say this happens at 12 and I do get into this trade, knowing what was coming out. I'll tell you right now, I probably just to say that I was, it's September, man. What do I always say about September? This gave, you're up a 1 to 14. At this break, you're at a 1 to 11. I pay myself something. Even if you threw, like on a 100K account, like 125 bucks on it, you're up 1.4%. You're up $1,400. I would have paid myself something on it. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? Why you don't trade lunchtime? Because bad things happen at lunch. should I do my Friday half pay? So if you work at a job, right? Any job, doesn't matter. If your boss says, hey, from now on Fridays, we're going to pay you half pay. Or how many Fridays are you going to continue to go to work and work for half pay? So for me, I don't trade during lunch. This is my cutoff. When price gets outside of this blue box, I stop trading indices. So why? Because I've got I got a couple charts that tell me not to trade during that time. So that's why. Yeah. Did you manage to take? Oh no, I already answered that. Yeah, on EJ, I'm not holding anything on EJ. Yeah, on EJ, I mean we were looking at EJ buys, but she never gave me anything. We were looking. Yeah, we were. I mean, you could see like all in here. We were trying to take this bad boy up. There was nothing, and then prior to that, it just didn't give us anything. Like we were looking for, once we broke here, we were looking for something in here, and it gave an accumulation, just no mitigation of it. So unfortunately, I never got anything on EJ out of here. So, um, oh, it was indices that you stopped trading at lunch. Yeah, indices. Yeah, I stopped. So on Forex, yeah, I mean, I'm off the charts at lunch. So, if there's a, let's say we have a distro during New York, I'm perfectly fine with the limit order staying active until 2 p.m. And then once 2 p.m. rolls around, I delete all my pendings. We saw beautiful, but today we saw that beautiful. Yeah. It was. It just happened. The entry came right after. So yeah, the entry came right after. Yeah, I mean, so that's really what I'm looking to do. I mean, indices, I am going to be looking for buys if it confirms it. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to wait for redistribution and then play continuation move down. So how you got to the point where you can hold trades so long for like few days or weeks. Um, so let me ask you, when you first started trading, did you trade with a stop loss when you first started trading? You did? Okay. Well, congrats. You're fortunate. A lot of us, a lot of us didn't trade with stop losses. So for me, I had no problem holding 400 pip drawdown on a trade, 500 pip drawdown on a trade. You know, I remember the strategy I was using at one point. The the person who was teaching it pretty much told me, "Oh, it'll eventually come back. Just keep holding it." So if I'm okay holding the losing ones, why couldn't I be okay with holding the winning ones? Do I hold full volume? Heck no. Listen, I'll tell you right now, I will be the first person to tell you that I never hold full volume on a long trade. But think of holding I mean, heck, my that Chef JPY, that was a 1.1 pip stop loss. I'm only holding, I think, what did I say this morning? I think it's only like 0.37 or 0.27 lots open on it. You know, so I mean, what's when you look at a trade like this, and you got in when you got in out of structure, because that's essentially what I did. It came into the slingshot of structure, out of intraday structure. So what's telling me to close the trade? When I got in here and we broke this high, right? What's once we broke this high here out of this, because we came into the slingshot that caused the break, and price then reaccumulates and then reaccumulates, why close it? Just keep holding it. Right. I mean, overall, what was my target? I don't even remember what my target was. My target was somewhere over here, but I think we blew past that over here, so I'll continue to hold this sucker. I have no problem holding it. Same thing, like Euro USD, right? The shorts on Euro USD that I got into back in September over here, right? The shorts I got in over here, once we broke this low, partialed out. Once we broke the low, partialed out. But once we just continue to do this, what's the fear? What am I, what's telling me, oh man, I should really close this trade out? Nothing. What's the target? Just keep zooming out. What's my target? My target, my target was to make this low, right? My target was to make this low. So I took some more partials, right? Paid myself out of that. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you this. How did I teach myself to do it? Start with 0.01 lots. You're trading 5 lots, leave 0.01 open. Take your partials, leave 0.01 open. Forget about it. Come back in a couple of weeks, right? I mean, obviously you're still managing the trade. You're still managing, trying to work other entries in, but just teach yourself. My Awanda account, I mean, I would say that I probably have, now keep in mind, every trade I take is 4 orders because the way my position size calculator splits it up. So I probably have right now on just currencies, I probably have it's got to be close to 40, 45 orders that are just open from, and my oldest trade is from September of last year. So just over the past year, just all the partials that I've just left open and just keep running. So, dumb question, but could you show an example of what you consider an order flow play? Sure. I mean, so, I mean, heck, we can just pick any of these. So what is maintaining my leg on Euro USD? So right now we know that we are being maintained from up here. That distribution right up here is maintaining the leg, right? That's what we broke bullish. That's what we distributed out of. And that's what created this whole thing. So if we come back into this area, that's a structure play. What's maintaining my order flow? Currently, this right here. This is an order flow play. So we come into this, that's it. If we break this, what do I need to wait for? I need to wait for us to come back up into structure, or I need us to redistribute. And if we redistribute, I'll play order flow. So yeah, that's for me, that's what it is. Just objectively observing the price action to consider closing. Yeah, I'll never close. I'll take partials, but the only way that the order's going to be taken out is at break even. You know, and hopefully I would say that I've hedged in so that I'm further in on the hedge that I could care less about the break even on the short or the buy, whatever I'm doing. You know, for me, that the hedge is important. So, you know, if you keep positions open, you've essentially protected yourself to take hedges if you need to. And if you're in on a hedge, the hedge allows you to take even further continuation plays without the fear of losing out on anything and you know, losing money on it. So, I mean, I've said it before, hedging and trade management are probably the hardest things in trading, in my opinion. How did you manage your positions in terms of parceling out? Oh man, that's a very lengthy discussion. That's something. Yeah, I mean, for the people that have listened to me talk about how to trade manage, I mean, that's like 3-4 hour video on its own. So yeah, that's, I mean, I can tell you this, it's, you know, study that and determine how you're going to manage your positions, do it on a demo, you know, without any emotions, and really, you know, take some time to do it. You know, my suggestion is think of bigger picture and, you know, have the thought process. Don't think because you took a 5-minute entry that you need to trade it off of, manage it off a 5-minute negative. You know, if you came back into the intraday structure or you came back into a leg, you're anticipating a new leg. So if that's 1,800 pips, why are you taking partials and closing out the trade at 100 pips? You know, so I mean, that's something you got to work on. You never go stop profit. No, I always, no, my entry will be a break even, and then I take partials. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hedging's still difficult for me. There's sometimes I still screw it up. So, but that's pretty much everything I'm looking at. And then, yeah, I mean, that's really it. Crypto. I mean, somebody want to look at BTC. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Get ready. I think, you know, I think this is just going to be an accumulation, but I'm still 100% set on coming here. I'm still looking for it to come here before our next drop. So keep in mind, October, November, December is typically where we get that push on crypto. And I think we can get there, but I just don't see a lot of evidence of buyers here. You know, look at the order books. You just don't have, significant money coming into exchanges for purchasing. And you don't see a ton of BTC coming off of exchanges into external wallets. So what's that telling you is that there's a lot of people unsure of what's going on. They're keeping it at the ready so they can quick sell. All right. You got it, bro. I'll see you, man. What ETH merge news are you talking about? What do you got on it? You got the skinny? What's the skinny on it? Do I think it'll call bullish movement? Well, I think if the merge falls through, I think if they try to get it over to the main net and they encounter problems, I don't think it's going to cause a sell-off because no one's going to be able to transfer anything. You've essentially cut off proof of work and you've got proof of stake that can't do anything. So I don't think it's going to cause a sell-off if it doesn't go through properly. Also, by going to proof of stake, you know, think of the susceptibility in the security features. What if in the first 6 hours there's a malicious intrusion that attacks the proof of stake, something like what you saw in Solana, is that going to cause a sell-off? Probably, because whoever stole, let's say someone steals a million ETH and immediately starts selling it rapidly on exchanges. That's gonna, essentially cause a sell-off. Do I think if everything goes well, it's going to be bullish price action? Probably not. If everything goes as planned, do you ever see any kind of reaction? No, it just goes as planned. So yeah. I mean, that's my take on the merge. I personally have liquidated out of all my Ethereum position. So, I've moved it over into stable coins. I've moved it into a lot of other cryptos that I've wanted to do some investing in. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm no longer supporting Ethereum. If DXY drops huge move out of this position at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised about which news are presented to us. Wait, if DXY drops a huge move out of this position at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised about which news are presented to us. Yeah, I mean, where could we play out of? I mean, just look at where this is still what's maintaining our order flow, right? This is still our order flow. So, I mean, you can see I've got my alerts. I'm still waiting here. I'd love for price to come in here. I'd really like it, but we'll see. Economy to be better precise on the bigger picture. No, I'll tell you right now, don't think that this has anything to do with the economy. The dollar index has absolutely zilch to do with the economy. So the whole reason why the dollar is so bullish right now isn't because the US economy is doing great. It's because investors are parking their money in the dollar index. It's the most lucrative safe haven there is. Typically people used to put it in the T-note, right? I think when I looked it up the other day, the T-note was like 3 or 4% annual return. That was it. 3 or 4% annual return. Just go back to the dollar. I think what's the dollar give, like 23%? Where's 20? Yeah, here you go. What have we seen on the dollar? We've seen 17%, 17% in this year alone, as opposed to 3 or 4% on the T-note. So this has nothing to do with the economy. How do you handle my investment trades? What do you mean, like my investment trades, like on crypto side or on stock side? I mean, that's a whole different topic. I mean, crypto side, I've got a 5-year plan, so I could care less what's happening on the day-to-day basis. On the stock side, yeah. I mean, I've moved out of, I moved a long time when the S&P broke that distribution. I got out of a lot of my shares and moved into some short-term yields and stuff like that. And now, if you look at all the major stocks, I mean, look at Tesla, look at AT&T, look at any of them, they're in distro. So, when we start to see a bottom, maybe I'll start moving back into some shares and stuff. But yeah, but that's pretty much it. That's everything. Do you think BTC will hit around 40K? I don't know. I mean, I think if it's going to have a major sell-off, that's where it's going to go to, but we could sell off from here. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you right now, with inflation and a recession looming, I don't think we're going to see an appreciation in crypto. So I don't see us going to 100K this year. I mean, do I see BTC at 100K eventually? Yeah. Yeah, I think crypto, especially what some of these projects are doing, I think crypto long-term plan is a really good investment. Is it short-term? Are we going to see some really big gains? No, I don't think so. I think we're setting up for some more shorts coming in. I think at the end, I think more people are going to liquidate assets before doing anything else. What do you think needs to happen for the economy not to be the way it is now? I can't say that on here. Otherwise, YouTube will flag this video and I won't be able to, people won't be able to see it. But let's just say that monetary policy has everything to do with what's going on right now. So yeah, that's all I'll say. But yeah, I mean, I'm no economist, but I'm pretty sure my 10-year-old son can do a better job with monetary policy than the circus that's in town. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got, guys. I've got to run. I promised my daughter I'd help her with some homework. So if you guys have any other questions, hit me up in the Discord chats and I'll try to answer them. But other than that, listen, you guys enjoy. Thank you for hopping on, and I will catch everybody later.